All right, we had crews on the way to the gorge. We now have Joe Raineri, meteorologist Joe Raineri. I understand you just got to Hood River. Give us a sense, Joe, of where you are, what you're seeing, the weather conditions, the wind, all of it.
Yeah, well, let's start with the traffic. Driving in from Portland, we didn't have any issues driving through Multnomah Falls and, of course, into Troutdale, but where it got really congested is once you get to Hood River. I'll have Drake kind of show you the scene out here. This is the first exit into Hood River off of I-84 to kind of set the scene if you want to head more east along Highway 30. That's where we're at right now, but traffic is a standstill in both directions out here. Again, you can't really see the smoke from the Raineri fire, but it's just on the other side of those trees. Matt's been showing it to you back at the station from one of our live weather cameras, but the wind, David and Stephanie, has been a big factor. I'd say anywhere from 30 to 40 miles an hour. We've been out here about 15, 20 minutes. That's the first thing you notice when you get out of your car, and just notice the trees. They've been kind of swaying back and forth out here. Like I said, you can't see the fire that's burning through near the Dalles, that Raineri fire, but out here along I-84, it was right around milepost 50, heading east on I-84. You look across the Oregon side along State Route 14, you can see two major fires burning, and that smoke is starting to kind of filter in where we're at right now. But again, that wind is going to be a factor for crews who are working on this. And again, if you can avoid this area, you're going to want to, because you're going to be stuck in traffic. If you don't take that first exit onto Highway 30 to turn around, you're going to be stuck in this traffic most likely for hours, as people from ODOT have been talking about. But it's been pretty warm and dry as well. But the one thing we have been noticing is that wind. And again, I did reach out to some people who were basically forced to evacuate just a couple of hours ago, the Discovery Museum in the Dalles, and they described kind of a wild scene, a very dark smoke, thick smoke. They were backing up at the Discovery Museum, making sure their animals were safe. That was about 3:30 or so was when I spoke with them, and they were making sure they got everything out. And again, there's evacuation, a level 2 and level 3 alerts throughout parts of the Columbia River Gorge the more east you go. But again, this wind is a big factor out here tonight, and it's going to continue to be that way as well. But again, I-84 is a mess. I haven't seen anything like this in a long time, but you don't have to jump on I-84, do not, because this isn't going to be improving anytime soon.
It's clearly very windy out there. I wanted to ask you, you can tell how windy it is based on the gusts we're hearing, but how often are we seeing those 40-mile-an-hour gusts out there? Matt was saying it's pretty consistently about 20 mile an hour, but we're seeing those gusts, and those can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, they pick up every few minutes, and as we're talking, I'm starting to see the wind pick up. During that live shot just a minute ago, I was talking about the winds are kind of dying down. Now they pick up. They're pretty frequent is probably the best way to describe that.